Hello BookTube, and today I'm going to be doing my next Strike Back Videoathon, and that will be disappointing reads. So, to get these ones, because I don't really remember the disappointing ones as a form of protest, I had to go back through my Goodreads and go, oh yeah, that one was really terrible. Thankfully, I had to go back about 2 years to get 5 books. So I don't get many really incredibly disappointing reads too often. I have restricted myself to not repeating any that I've already talked about on this channel. So my most recent disappointing reads was Thornhill. I picked this one up because it came into my library at work and went, oh, this looks really cool. And it wasn't a disappointing read in that I had hyped it up. I had known nothing about it. Sorry, that's by Pam Smye. It was more of a, those books that I think of, because it's all done with a lot of sketches and that sort of thing, I think of the Marvelous World of Hugo Cabret or Wonderstruck, those sorts of things, and I loved those books. And this was about basically a suicide of a child. So really, I was expecting the wrong thing, basically. The next one is The Siren by Kiera Cass. And this was disappointing because I have actually read the full selection series, and a bit of a guilty pleasure, I really liked them. And that's the two, with the 2 extra ones at the end where it's the children. Just didn't get into the story the way I had with the characters from the selection, and it was just, it wasn't bad, it was just disappointing. It didn't, I knew it wasn't in the same world, but it just really didn't do it for me. My next disappointing read was The Thinking Woman's Guide to Magic by Emily Croy Barker, and I found this one frustrating because the title didn't seem to have anything to do with what was in the book, because I really kind of thought, I'm a thinking woman, why is this person doing all this stupid stuff all the time? And I think I finished it. I can't remember if I DNF'd it, but it was a pretty, if I did finish it, it was a slog. It was a terrible, yeah, I did finish it. It just disappointed me in the fact that she kept making the wrong decisions, and they were bleedingly obviously wrong decisions. My next one, it was Ghost at a Watchmen by Harper Lee. I had never read To Kill a Mockingbird until about 2 years ago, and I had it as a audio book, and I can't remember who did the voice for it, but it was an American actor, and you'd know her if I said her name, so I'll probably put it up down here. But it was so disappointing to go directly, because I had the 2 of them in a double set, to go directly from the To Kill a Mockingbird, which was amazing, and I was so into the characters, and they were so well written, and there's no doubt in my mind as to why that is such a classic and well loved book, to go to Ghost at a Watchman, where it was obvious, that it was bleedingly obvious with the way the characters were set up in that it was written before To Kill a Mockingbird, and because the characters weren't treated anywhere near with the amount of respect and ideology that had already surrounded the characters within the first book. You'll know what I mean if you've read it. Yeah, I really didn't like it, but I loved To Kill a Mockingbird. My last one, I honestly did DNF because I was becoming way too depressed, let alone disappointed, and that was The Road by Cormac McCarthy. I had to stop reading it because it's so grey and so depressing, and I really wanted to know what happened in the end, but I think my mental health needed to come first. It was so horrid. I ended up looking up a synopsis to find out what happened to the characters in the end, but the lack of punctuation, the lack of speech, it's all in first person, I think. Maths teacher, don't know these sorts of terms. And it was grey and dismal, and I don't read books for those reasons. So that was my Strike Back Videoathon for today. That was my most disappointing reads that I could think of, and I would like to acknowledge the shout outs that I have been given over the weekend. I'm filming this on Monday and I have a whole heap of new people watching me now. So hello to all the new people if this is your newest ones that you're watching. I'd like to thank Novelty Corner and G Swizzle just so much for the shout outs that they've done and the recognition. I really appreciate the recognition that they have given me, that I'm actually doing something that other booktubers and other people out there watching appreciate. So thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.